what is the very first or the primary marriage tip that I could give you? Now, there could be many of them, but there's one item that I think is the central to all the other ones. And that one is explained in the story of Daniel Boone. When I grew up, I heard this story where Daniel Boone was dating a girl, courting a girl. And what he did was he took his pocket knife out or his Bowie knife or whatever he had, and he cut a little piece of her dress off, the end of her dress. And he wanted to see her reaction. Well, what was her reaction? She was like, well, why'd you do that? He's like, well, simple. I want to see if you got upset at me, if you got angry, because I want to see how you would react. Are you going to be, in other words, are you going to be full of drama or are you going to be self-controlled? And ask good questions. And she did. She asked good questions like, why'd you do that? Well, he had a good reason. Now, did he kind of go off too far with that? Yeah, probably. But he did something. He had a little test to kind of see how is she going to react in this situation. But you don't necessarily have to cut a piece of someone's clothing off to see how they react. There's so many other red flags you can see, or green flags. How do they treat people? For a great example is, how do they treat the waiter if you go out to eat? Well, if they're treating the waiter really poorly, then maybe that's not a good person to be around. And I can go on and on. There's many other ways to test, but it's not so much a test. It's just be observing, like, how is that person reacting? So the number one rule that's explained this story is wisdom. You have to choose wisely. You have to fish in the right pond. And if you don't fish in the right pond, all you'll get are fish that you don't want, that you want to throw back in. So choose wisely.